This is the first time in my life I had notes for a speech, so. Okay, so a lot of you know me. My name is Melissa Ludwig, and I've been coming to these things for a long time. So I want to take it back to my very first event, and I want to ask all of you to think to your very first Beachbody event. Maybe it's this one. Did you walk into a Beachbody event expecting one thing and leaving having experienced another? Raise your hand. I almost missed out on that. My first super weekend was July of 2014. If anyone was there, we were in Station Square, and I didn't know anyone. My sister lives in North Carolina. She's my coach. She told me I had to go to super weekend. That's a thing I had to do. I followed the rules, so I bought a ticket. I went, took my husband, my baby. We were late, because I'm always late, so I think I missed part of it, and I stood in the back wearing her in a wrap, and I stayed in my head. I didn't talk to anyone. I didn't let it sink in, because I singled myself out yet again in the back of the room and told myself that I didn't belong there. And told myself that this wasn't for me, because life is just harder for me. And it is. But then we did the live workout, which I left halfway through that thing like, oof, that was not for me. And it was cardio. I was like, yoga? Okay, this is me. And I was like, this is not yoga. She was here like, kick my booty, right? So I left halfway through, but my husband and my baby were out walking around so I could do the workout. And I was embarrassed. And my sister told me that I had to have a sweaty selfie of Super Weekend, Super Saturday at the time, to share the team page. And again, I followed the rules. So, as everyone was leaving this event that I had already left early, I asked a group of strangers in the hallway to take a sweaty selfie with me. And they jumped in like a group of my best friends, and like I was like, I don't know what is happening here. And, maybe took like 12 pictures, but just like, yeah! And I walked away like, what? I said to my husband, like, did you see that chick's energy? Because I'm a lot. And I've always been told that I'm too much. And to see somebody beat me and just like go all out in the crowd, I was like, okay, maybe there's something here. All right. And it was that moment, and that's probably the only reason why I bought another ticket. And I went back in January 2015, and Carl came to visit. And I thought, oh, CEO, okay, we're gonna talk about sales, marketing, because that's my background. We talked about changing lives. And I was like, okay. And then I heard someone share her story. I don't remember her name, and I don't even remember the specifics because it didn't matter, but there was pain and there was darkness, and it wasn't perfect. And where she started was at rock bottom, and I thought, wow, my rock bottom is so much lower than hers. Imagine if she can stand there and become this confident version of herself to spark this in me. What could I do if I can fix my shit? Like, oh, right? Because I'm a lot and I'm a mess, but I've always known that I have a little something extra. Turns out it's ADHD, but hey. So I went all in and I did all the vital behaviors. I messaged 2 chicks in the team page that I didn't know, and I was like, hey, I need a success partner, don't know what that is, want to be one. And next month is a team cup, don't know what it is, but we're gonna do it. We need 3 more people. And I went diamond in 5 weeks. And I did that by living in my inbox. So you have to talk to the people. It's not just about what you're doing. I went back to that. My 3rd Beachbody event was this one, 7 years ago tomorrow, and that's my sobriety date. Because if you spend enough time in rooms with people like this, you will become your best version. And you will figure out the things that are standing in your way. And Shalene, she has a Car Smart series back in, CDs in your car. And she just kept saying, what is that one thing holding you back from the person you wanted to be? And for me, it was my drinking. Because we share our lives here. And if there's something in your life that you can't share, you need to fix it. Because we share it all. So I have issues. I shared them. As I overcame everything, I shared with the world how I did it. Because they're not in this room. They don't have, I'm shaking, they don't have modifiers like cat to show them someone that looks like them. They don't want to see you at the end. They want to see how you got there, because that's what they need. So if you want to be successful in this business, become the best version of yourself and get really good at sharing how you do that. So January 2015 went all in. April 2015 I got sober. December 2015 I went into a windshield in a car accident and broke my neck. I was only 8 months sober, and I was on a bunch of narcotics for paid now. I know what happens in that situation. So I was terrified, and I've never experienced pain like that in my life. I actually was losing the 100 pounds so I could have a less painful pregnancy. I absolutely know that Melissa before Beachbody wouldn't have fought after that broken neck. It would have been the final thing on there that's like, well, the world's just too hard. Life is just too hard, and now I'm overweight and I have a bunch of pain. But workouts were the things that helped with my pain. And I would have never known that if it wasn't already a piece and a part of my life. I think 2015 was my year of growth, and I needed Beachbody to save my life. And it really did. And from that point on, I've just been sharing it. I lost my 100 pounds before I was actually cleared to work out when I got my neck brace off, because I was doing Portion Fix in Shakeology. So I shared with people, and I think a lot of people really wanted to see what was gonna happen after that broken neck. Same shit than before, just a little slower. So success lies in the mental journey. It's not the physical. It's not me losing 100 pounds is not what has done all of this. And this is what I'm here for. It started with me. I walked into that door because I needed to lose 100 pounds. And in the process of losing 100 pounds, I found myself. And I found what I needed. And I found something that fixed what I thought was broken. And the more I share that, the more I see that there are so many broken people out there that don't have this. You think about your social media before Beachbody. Different, right? Negative. And you see all of these other coaches and things on your social media, and you think, oh, well, I'm not them. I'm not sharing what they're sharing. Guess what? You are the only light in your feed. And your viewers, you are the light. They don't know what these other coaches are posting. They need you to be your light, because you are the only one that they see. They don't have this community. You forget what you have because it's a blessing. But this is the blessing that we have to give to others. If you want to ask me what programs I've done, it would be easier to answer what programs I haven't done. And everything that we have works if you work. But if you don't do the work, the mental work, you won't keep showing up for the physical. So a pivotal point in my journey, how am I doing on time? I'm just gonna go. A pivotal point in my journey was, I started with T25 actually, back in the day, about one challenge pack. I know I'm going back here, ADHD. And it was $200 for a bag of Shakeology and one pack of DVDs. I could only do 2 of those workouts. Like, that was it. I couldn't even get up and down off the floor. I was 233 pounds. I hated Tanya. I was like, okay, Tanya's going on fire, she just had a baby. Just took a picture with her on the Success Club trip and told her how much of a pivotal part of my journey she was, because I actually started and completed T25 during my second pregnancy. But when 21 Day Fix came out, I was debating on buying it again, and I was at that point. I think a lot of people get to this point where, am I gonna waste more money on myself? Like, am I gonna buy another thing and not do it? And so I didn't want to waste the money. I was like, I don't know what else to do. I was so desperate. So I stood in front of a mirror and I had a conversation with myself. And I think this conversation changed my life. I didn't realize it then, but now looking back my journey, I'm like, oh. I asked myself, because I was miserable, crying every day, like literally would go in the bathroom to change because I didn't want my husband to see me. Like, that's not the kind of life I want to live. So I stood in front of the mirror and I said, can you love this person? Can you learn to love her? Because we can't do this. We won't make it. Our brain is literally not built for that. And I couldn't, because I didn't know her. And she was empty. And so I was like, all right, so what are you gonna do about it? Are you gonna commit to doing whatever it takes to love her? And like, my journey has been about self-love since. I gained 65 pounds on my second pregnancy. I gained 70 on my first. I had SPD. It was not ideal. I loved every minute of it. I was taking selfies I had a strict rule. You were not allowed to take my picture if you came to visit me with my first baby. I actually told my family that. And I mean, coaches on social media, I was blowing that shit up with Cora. Like, the difference was night and day, and I was so glad that that was the pregnancy that my older daughter got to see. That was what she got to see, because as soon as she came along, it changed. And so they didn't get to see that version. And now my daughter has ADHD, and I'm helping her get through that. And I have done so much up here that now, as soon as I got that diagnosis and medication, I'm not running boot camps and helping other women. I've had dozens of women, including family members, get diagnosed and treated. And if you live with this, it's rough. Undiagnosed, untreated ADHD in women can be, well, let's just say if I hadn't lived through my best friend's suicide, I probably would have taken my own life. But I know what that does to people. So, I now have a sober tribe of women. There's a decade of sobriety here. Thousands of pounds lost. I am about to welcome my 7th member of the 100 Club, so 7 women to lose on this pounds. Years of trauma being healed, generational curses being broken, women advocating for their mental health, dozens of women diagnosed and getting treated for ADHD, reducing pain, inflammation, all these things. This was a year and a half ago, and I was at a leadership retreat, and I'm gonna finish with this. Because all these things that I've done for myself are great, but I'm here for more, right? And the limiting belief at that retreat, I was there by myself, everyone. We didn't have a summit that year, so we turned our retreat into a summit. Everybody brought their teams, only I didn't have a team. And I've been on my team the longest, other than my sister. And of course, me, I'm like, oh, right? So I got really real. And the limiting belief I had that year was, maybe I'm only meant to come this far. And maybe this is all that I was meant to do. And I didn't stop there. When I went home, I started talking about it. And I started talking about the tribe of women that I wanted. And the people that I wanted to see, because everywhere I saw people that didn't look like me. And after 39 years, I'm sick of it, because I know my people are out there. So I started talking to them. And this was next year's retreat. And it happened in weeks. Like, we were together for a whole year before this. And they were just waiting. Every moment, every accolade, it came from a moment of weakness. It came from a moment of vulnerability. It came from a moment of me getting real and honest about where I am and where I wanted to go. Because if you don't tell people where your bus is going, no one's gonna get on. And if you don't tell them where the final stop is, they're gonna get off before it gets there. So what is your big vision mission? If you woke up tomorrow and this business dropped $10 million in your bank account, what would you do with it? Talk to your team about that. because I am going to get testing and treatment in all of the elementary schools in the United States for ADHD. If you treat ADHD before the age of 10, you can actually reduce their chance of developing an addiction by 70%. And we are 50% more likely than the general population of developing an addiction. So it brings us down to lower than the general population. So that's my big vision mission. And I challenge you to think about that. What is your big vision mission? What is the thing that you would change in this world if you could? And like, push for that. Because it's so much more than the weight loss we're doing here. This is just the avenue for you to change the world. Because that's what we do here. We make it better. And the second thing I'm going to challenge you to do is to grab a stranger and take a picture today. Get out of your head. Make some friends, make some connections. Allow yourself to grow here, because that's what we do.
Okay, next up, we have our video. So, take out your notebooks, your pens, your phones, your note section, whatever you need. Sit back and enjoy this video with some new announcements you may have not heard of yet. So, all right.